Hi guys. So I just was thinking, right, what is the most important thing about being successful in this business? And I thought, God, what is it? And I can't stress to you enough, it's belief. Like, I promise you, you need to believe in yourself. Like, if you wake up every single morning and you say to yourself, I can't do this, if you ever let that kind of thought come into your mind, I guarantee you are going to sabotage yourself. Because if I'm really honest with you, the thing that I noticed the most about my journey is that when I let little thoughts get into my head, like, you can't do this, it's like you allow it to build momentum. And like, I don't know if any of you, I don't even care if any of you are not spiritual, if you don't believe in the law of attraction, but it's like, I can't stress to you enough that when you give a thought, when you have a thought, so a thought comes to your head, like say it's a negative one, you have got a choice in that moment to be like, thank you for sharing, don't want to listen, or thank you for sharing, let me think of what else you could do. Oh, duh. You can let that thought build momentum in your mind. So for instance, if you get a thought like, oh, this is too hard, the universe is going to make sure that is what your reality is. And it's like, even if it wasn't all law of attraction and all kind of like the wishy-washy spiritual stuff, like science has proven that what we think is what we create. So what I want you to do on a daily basis is read affirmations. And it's like another thing, I'll go on to some affirmations in a minute, but what I think that is really important, it's like, it doesn't matter how much I want you to be successful. You know, I could like be your upline and I could want you to be so successful. I could send you so many messages. I could give you so much energy. But if you do not want to engage, and if you're not willing to kind of be like, I want this and I'm going to do what it takes, then it doesn't matter what I do. You know what I mean? I can't drag you to success. Like, you have to make that decision for yourself. And I just want to put it into perspective for you. It's like, success is so worth it. It's difficult. It's a difficult journey. It's not difficult. If anything, I think it's quite enlightening. I love it. But for some people, you're about to put yourself into a different space. You're about to be someone that you've never been before. You're about to do things that you've never done before. So that's scary. Do you know what I mean? And like, a lot of people are convincing themselves at the moment that they can't do this. They're thinking, I'm just not that person. I'm not that person who can, I don't know, stay up an extra hour every night. Or I'm not that person who's got a good schedule. Or I'm not that person who's organised. I'm not that person who can post on social media. You know, like, all of these things that you're telling yourself, I'm just not that person. It's like, be that person. Start to be that person. Why not? It's like, what have you got to lose if you just be that person? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I can't stress to you enough, like, how important it is to step out of your comfort zone. It's so important. It's like mandatory part of growing in life. Like, if you don't step out of your comfort zone, you're not growing. And like, you know what they say, if you're not growing, you're dying. Do you know what I mean? So if you honestly, hand on your heart, want to be successful, and it doesn't matter what it is in life that you want to be successful in, there's a certain level of like commitment. There's a certain level of you having to step out of your comfort zone. There's a certain level of you having to be a bigger and better person. And in order to be a bigger and better person, you have to grow. You have to be doing these things. And it's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything for you. It's like, the reality of this situation is, how much do you want it? You know what I mean? If you're sat there right now and you're thinking, I really want this, you know, I really want to, I'll give you an example of my story. I was sat there in the first 4 months of this business and I don't know, I wasn't doing the work. I just wasn't doing it. And I was thinking, I'm just not that person. I'm not that person who will stay up at the night time. I need 12 hours sleep. You know, that's dramatic, but I was one of those people who needs a lot of sleep. And what I think you need to reassess with yourself is, if you want it bad enough, you will do what it takes. There's no excuses. There's no, like fucking around. There's just not. And it started to dawn on me after a few months in the business. I thought, this is starting to become my only option. You know, I don't want to work for somebody else again. I do not want to do that. Like, I'd already had that kind of feeling, and I was thinking, I don't want to do it. I really don't want to work for somebody else. And then another thing, I was like, I don't want to have to struggle for the rest of my life. I don't want to be poor. You know what I mean? I've just watched both my parents live such a poor life. I don't want that. I really don't want it. And then I was thinking, I really want to travel. Like, you know, when I think about the world, and then I think about not seeing the world, it makes me sad. And I think I would hate to at 60 years of age to think, God, I just didn't see the world. I didn't see the world. Like, you know, I've watched my mum's never been on holiday. My dad, literally, he went on his first holiday the other day in 25 years, and he went to Scotland. Which, you know, to me, I'm like, that's not a holiday, Dad. But, you know, he loved it, and he was like, I love it. Like, and he's like now found that kind of like fire again. He's like, I'm gonna come to New Zealand with you, and getting all excited about life. My nana never been out of Ireland. My granddad never went on holiday, and I'm thinking, God, that's my worst nightmare, like my absolute worst. And I was like, right, I need to make this work. There's no option. It's like I need to do what I need to do, and whether that's painful or whether that's me doing things that I've never done before, you know what I mean? And it's like when you start to focus on your why and focus on the pain of failing, things change. Like, you know, like I've got my vision board there, and I've got my affirmations up, and every single day I look at these things and I think, ooh, you know, it's uncomfortable to think of being a failure. You know, I'm terrified of being a failure, but I'm more terrified of like failure in the aspect of working for somebody else for the rest of my life in a shit job, you know, where I'm miserable, like 75% of the population. Because let's be honest, like, how many people do you know are in a job at the moment, a 9-to-5 job, and they love it, and they wake up every morning and they're buzzing? Or are they people who are living for the weekend, and they're living for the holidays that they get every year, and they're kind of like, oh, work tomorrow? You know what I mean? It's like, there's not many people happy. And it's like, we've made a decision that's, you know, we're all here, so that's good. You know, you already have this vision and you're thinking, this is what I want. But now, what's happening is you're stopping yourself from achieving it by just not committing, by not stepping up, by not just not doing it. You know what I mean? You're just sat there and you're thinking, you know, I'm going to let my bad thoughts take control here, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and think I can't do this, or, you know, this is hard. And it's not. I promise you it's not. And it's like, you have to believe in yourself. Every single day, if you wake up and you say to yourself, you know, the affirmations are important. So I'm going to read you, 1 second. So what I do at the start of the month, I write down my goals for the month, and I write down what I want to achieve, and then I write down affirmations. So these affirmations I have on my wall, and every morning I'll wake up and I'll say them. It takes about 2 minutes, depending on how many affirmations you've got. And I also do affirmations for just myself, you know, like for my self-esteem, like, you know, like sometimes my mind can play tricks on me, you know, because I was bullied through school. So sometimes I'll look in the mirror and I'll think, oh, you know, you're ugly, or, you know, people think this about you, and, you know, stupid things. And then, like, now I'm in a position where I'm like, thanks for sharing. That's not true. I'm not going to let you stay in my mind. And the way that the universe works, whether you believe it or not, but just listen to me, because I honestly have had so much experience in it, and I feel like even if you don't believe in it, just believe in it for the sake of it. Is that if you have a thought and you don't like it, or if something bad happens and you don't like it, you can choose to ignore it. And when you ignore it, you send out a message to the universe that's saying, I don't want that in my life. When a negative thought comes to your mind, or something bad happens, or someone's horrible to you, or anything, if you react to that thought, you're telling the universe that you want more of that. Like, that's just the law of attraction. That's the way it works. Okay, and it's working. Trust me, I've been working on law of attraction for like 5 years. So it's like now I've started to notice that when I ignore things, they don't grow. There's no energy to it. You know, we already know that everything's made of energy. So I've got loads of like videos and stuff that you know, if any of you want more education on that side of things, then message me. I will enlighten you. But I'll read you some of these affirmations, and this is vulnerable for me because this is to my heart. You know, like some of these are like really vulnerable, a vulnerable part of me. So I'm a beautiful person inside and out. That's something I want to reaffirm to myself every single day, because I know that on the inside I'm a beautiful person, and I know that all I'm trying to do is be a good person to people, but on the outside sometimes I don't feel like I am. So I'm grateful for my attractiveness. I'm going to be honest, I don't believe that I'm that attractive, you know. I know I'm not ugly, but, you know, sometimes I do look at myself and I think, oh, you're so ugly. You know what I mean? I know that sounds stupid, but anyway, moving on. So something I want to reaffirm to myself every single day. I'm grateful that I look this way. You know, I could look so much worse, and that's what I want to remind myself of. You know, there's people like, if anyone's watched The Undateables, I remember I watched it and I felt so bad. I thought, how selfish of you, Joe, to care or think that you don't look attractive when there's people who have been born with deformities or, you know, really unfortunate with the way that they look, and they're happier than you. They're happy with the way they look. So anyway, that's another thing. I'm aware that my kindness to myself fills and spreads out to others. I am a selfless and motivating person who inspires people every day. I am confident and capable. Each day I commit to working harder than I did the day before. I'm committed to pushing myself and taking the inspired action daily to bring my dreams into my reality. I'm 100% committed to being and growing into the best person I can be, so I can create the life I deserve for myself and my family. I'm grateful each day for my amazing life. I'm grateful for my growth. I'm grateful for the money and the abundance that surrounds me. I'm a good person. I choose to feel good. I choose to feel love. I choose to feel gratitude. They're just like affirmations that I've just made up. And it's like, they are so, so powerful. And I'll give you the kind of like the science behind it. So when your mind operates from your subconscious, so that's 95%. So whatever's in your subconscious mind is what your 5% of consciousness will operate from. So, you know, like you're awake now, when you're awake in the day or whatever, whatever's in your subconscious mind is what you will act on. That's what's filtered. So what the affirmations do is they program your subconscious mind. For instance, I'm 100% committed to growing into the best person I can be. If you say that every day for 30 days, you will start to notice that you're doing things that is helping you grow that you never thought you would do before. Like, I can't even express to you, like, the affirmations are vital. Every book that I've read, every seminar that I've watched or been to, all of the successful people that I've, like, modelled or, you know, kind of, like, educated myself on, all of them do affirmations. Every single one of them. And I have mentioned it before, but write down affirmations that are going to help you. You know, if you are one of those people who sat there and you procrastinate, write down an affirmation that's, I am 100% committed to taking action every single day. Or if you're one of them people who has negative self-talk, I'm 100% committed to choosing my thoughts or not allowing negative thoughts to spiral. If you're one of them people who doesn't think that they're confident enough, you know, I am confident. I am a confident person. You know what I mean? I am growing in confidence every single day. Write down affirmations that are going to serve you as a person, that are going to help you. And I would absolutely love any of yours to come back to me in 30 days after you do the affirmations every single day and tell me that they've not made you feel better. Because I know for a fact they will make you feel better. And you will start to notice weird stuff happening, like the coincidences that happen. Things just come to you and you're like, whoa, this is weird. You know what I mean? Like, this is, like, I'm guaranteed that someone's going to come to me with a weird story. Like, it's like, don't choke on my own talk. But I guarantee that you will come back to me and you'll say, those affirmations they're a miracle. It's crazy how they work. It's scary how they work. But, you know, if saying a sentence every single day is going to change your life, I'm there. I'm doing it. Like, honestly, they do work. So what I would advise you to do is, right now, if any of you, like, I've been successful in the business, so if any of you want to copy what I've done, then message me. And I will tell you what I've done in order to become successful. And it's like, successful you should always model successful people. If somebody's been successful at something, then speak to them and say, what have you done? What have you done that's made you at that point? You know, if I seen a yoga teacher or someone who did yoga and they were amazing, the first thing I do is, how long has it taken you to do that? And what do you do each day? And is there any tips that you can give me? You know, I want to learn how they've got to that point. They've become successful in it. So why try and figure it out myself when I can just learn off somebody who's already been successful? So what I really want you to practice is believe. Start believing. Start noticing your own thoughts. When you get a negative thought come to mind, ignore it. It's not true. It's not you. It's a conditioning. It's come from somewhere else. It's come from someone's maybe saying that, you know, it's not going to work. So then that's in your subconscious, and then everything that you're doing then is, oh, this is not going to work. That's what's in your mind. So then your actions will go from that, and your decisions will go from that. For instance, if you've got a thought that you're not going to succeed in this business, your actions will then kind of like complement that thought. So for instance, when I used to think, I can't do this, I'm just not one of them people, I wouldn't then do any work because I just thought there was no point. That was happening subconsciously. That was happening like without me even knowing. And it was only when I started telling myself, I can do this. Like, why can't I do this? You know, I'm a human and humans are doing it. So why can't I do it? And when I started changing the perspective, everything started happening for me. You know, I wanted to do the work because I was thinking, if I do the work, I'm going to achieve an amazing life. And that's what I want. So keep everything positive. Keep everything focused on your goals. Think of the life that you can actually give yourself. Do not put yourself into this box of thinking that you're not one of them people who can go and achieve an amazing life, because you are. Like, I can't even stress to you enough. The only time that you're not going to do that is if you keep telling yourself you're not going to do that. You are going to put yourself into the box of, I can't achieve anything. And if you have that mentality, you will not achieve anything. It's a fact. You know what I mean? The beliefs are everything. So please challenge your own beliefs. Challenge them, because your thoughts, they're not true to you. Like, you have to choose your thoughts, and you have to say, do I want that thought? Is that thought serving me? Is that a positive thought? If it's not, throw it in the bin. Just don't let it be in your head. Like, you're letting these negative thoughts live inside of your head, and all they do, when you give a negative thought attention, you're giving it energy. You're allowing it to grow, and then it grows, and then your whole day's ruined because you're like, oh, you know, I just can't do it, and you beat yourself up. It's not a good place to be, guys. Like, it's really not. So, as always, message me if you need any help, if you want any advice, if you want any spiritual enlightenment, if you want any positivity, you know, I'm your gal, full of the positive vibes always, and don't give up. Don't let yourself down. Don't talk yourself out of success, because you know what I mean. You don't need to. You really don't need to. So yeah.